This is State of Art, and today is a video about a new PvE rotation I found out because I was actually bad, and when I went into the Mythic Plus Keystone, I realized that I'm not doing enough damage to compete with anyone, and people were out DPSing me easily, and then I thought, what is actually wrong with me? And then I realized I'm just not using the proper spells or proper rotation, proper talents. So right here is the thing I found out. Probably a lot of experienced survival players already using that, but hey, it's a good thing that I found out it and I want to share it with you. So this rotation revolves around keeping the Way of Moknatal up, and instead of Aspect of the Beast having the Speeding Cobra, and instead of Mortal Wounds having a Murder of Crows. So it's a little bit bursty, but in the end it brought me around 35 to 40k DPS more. Right here on my SCADA you can see that I have the segment I saved, and it's the segment I've been spending on for what, 18 minutes 26 seconds, and the DPS I was able to pull is 251k. Basically I failed to keep Way of Moknatal up several times, so the DPS kinda dropped, but at the peak it was 260k DPS, but well, by the way, I didn't use a single aspect of the Eagle or my Bloodlust to track that and to increase my DPS. It's a pure Harpoon Dot, Lack Rate, Raptor Strike, Explosive Trap. Well, basic spells without any boost cooldowns, and only proccing my two trinkets, which one is for haste and another one for bonus damage. But well, that's another thing. Well, what I want to start from is the difference between my old rotation, my old talent build, and the new one. The difference is that previous talent tree didn't allow me to pull all of my DPS spells, and I was actually losing some DPS on the idle moments, while here I have a filler to use all the time. So basically I ran Animal Instincts instead of Way of Moknatal. And what I found out in the end, that Animal Instincts is pretty useful when you're doing something like world quests, when you need to burst down a mob really quickly, because it reduces the cooldown of one of 4 spells by 2.5 seconds, and most of the time the cooldown reduced is the Flanking Strike. So yeah, for soloing it's a really good one, where you just Flanking Strike, it drops the cooldown and you Flanking Strike again. But for the boss fights, Way of Moknatal is a superior one, even though it's 8 seconds, but you can manage to do it all the time and keep it up without losing a lot of focus. So I was worried about that at first, but then I okay, I should try it out, and after spending like 2 hours punching the same mob, I found the way how it actually works. So yeah, Way of Moknatal is a talent to go when it comes to dungeons, raids and all that stuff, because if you keep it up, it's a 12% DPS boost. Here I used to have Mortal Wounds, which has a chance to give you a Mongoose stack. It's a good talent, but I still don't have enough haste to suffice it, or to have most use of it. I still have 19%, almost 20% haste, but well, it's not enough. At 30% haste it starts to be really useful, but at 20% I think that the Murder of Crows is a better option. Even though it's 1 minute cooldown, it doesn't deal that much. Well, it's a burst cooldown and it pumps up your DPS by around 5k if used with a offensive cooldown, maybe 10k. I haven't tried Snake Hunter yet, but I think it's a cool one as well. But Murder of Crows is a universal talent when you're good to go with it. And it's also fine for soloing because it can be reset. I mean, the cooldown can be reset if you kill a target on like World Quest or something. The only thing is it doesn't stack greatly with Animal Instincts, because you actually can lose a lot of focus spending 2 times flanking strike, and yeah, well, whatever. Level 45, nothing changed. I still think that post haste is the best option, even though Trailblazer is a good one. Level 60, I tried Steel Trap and I tried Caltrops. It's not that great. Like, you see, Explosive Trap is it's actually 5th, because Flanking Strike here and Flanking Strike here, if you sum that up, 20 million and 22 million, it's basically 42 million, and it's a second place after Among Us by damage. But after I've been trying a lot of rotations yesterday, in the end Flanking Strike was dealing more damage than Mongoose Bite by 1 million, where Flanking Strike did like 121 million and Mongoose Bite did 120 millions. Not a big deal, they're kinda equal in the damage in the end. Level 75, well, it's a safe I mean utility tree, utility part, so nothing changed here. And at level 90 I tried the Dragon's Fire Granite, but Serpent Sting is superior. When Dragon Fire Granite can give you a good burst, Serpent Sting is really great, and it actually outplays the Dragon's Fire Granite after 30 seconds of the fight. First 30 seconds of the fight, Dragon's Fire Granite out DPSing, outperforming Serpent Sting, but then Serpent Sting start to tick, and you see it's a nice one. And well, I will move that and I will pull it like this. See, that's the all instances of damage I was able to do. Well, Interrupt, Harpoon and Arcane Torrent are just they are not needed here. Like this. Well, you can put Flanking Strike and Pet, which name is Blanc, Flanking Strike on the second place. It doesn't show like one spell in the recount or SCADA, whatever. But Serpent Sting is a really good one. 16 million damage for a small talent like that. Not like small talent, but still. It can be applied from Carve, and it's good for AoE, but also good for single target. Butchery, there is no place for Butchery because it spends 40 focus, and you want to use your Flanking Strike for 50 focus. If you would have 150 focus as the Marksman Hunter does, then Butchery would have a place, and then the DPS would be insane. But we're not Marksman Hunters and we don't have 150 focus. And yeah, let's proceed. At level 100 talent, I used to run Aspect of the Beast, but then after a lot of testing I realized it's complete shit, complete garbage compared to Spitting Cobra. Spitting Cobra is garbage damage wise, obviously, but the thing is, it's a 30 seconds buff which increase your focus regeneration by a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. You won't ever run out of focus. And it's available each 1 minute and it's up for 30 seconds. Which says like, yeah, you have a really great focus regeneration where you can pull all the flanking strikes, keep up your Way of Magnetal through Raptor Strike, keep your lucky rate, throw a Murder of Crows, and so on. Well, this rotation is probably the best, and this rotation requires you a spell weaving. What a spell weaving is? Spell weaving is a term used in Final Fantasy XIV at least. I think more MMOs use that term, but I only met that in Final Fantasy XIV, where spell weaving is a technique which actually requires you to use one filler spell after a spell that spends your resources. Like Survival Hunter has 2 filler spells, even 3. It's Among Us Bite, even though it's your biggest amount of damage with a flanking strike, it's a filler ability because it doesn't use your focus. Another filler ability is Explosive Trap. Every 20 seconds you can apply Explosive Trap, and I tell you here, Explosive Trap could do more damage than it did here, because I was too tunneled on keeping up the Way of Magnetal. I almost forgot to throw Explosive Trap when it came out of the cooldown. But that's not a big thing. It still did good damage, and it's still high in the DPS table. The third filler spell is the Fury of the Eagle. It actually doesn't matter on how big your amount of Mongoose Fury stacks is. Fury of the Eagle is not going to even out DPS on the Trail debuff, which is actually not that great. You see, even Talon Strike, which is the worst golden talent I've ever seen, out DPS'd the Fury of the Eagle. Brutal Haymaker, by the way, is my trinket. And the trinket is spiked counterweight from the Blackrock Hold, but wherever. I think this type of trinkets, one from Arsak, another one from the Mythic, which is a Blackrock Hold, is a great setup. One gives you passive haste and additional damage, and another one gives you passive agility and proccing haste, which actually procs really often. I think I can even look how many times it procced. I guess. I'm not sure. Buff up times. Let's see. Blood Frenzy is the trinket proc. You see, 38% of all the time. But the thing is, it will proc more often on the boss fights, because I was fighting a dummy. The dummy can parry, and the dummy never loses health. But the beauty of this trinket is it pops away often when its target is on low health. So yeah. Xarvik Magnum Opus, you don't count that, it's a defensive legendary I have. And you see Moknatal Tactics. I fucked up that a lot. And it still says that I have a top time by 99%. Well, that's great, that's great. Whatever. Let's get back to damage show. Yeah. So the Spitting Cobra is a great option for keeping up your rotation. And you can also like time it perfectly and combine with Aspect, Murder of Crows and Spitting Cobra. And that's a lot of DPS. I haven't tried it yet. I don't know how it's going to happen. But I swear it's going to be great. And yeah, well, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Is that I found out a rotation that I perform better with. And spell weaving. The spell weaving is a good tool, and I wish Trophy GKD would work for me. That's a talent I would use, but let me show you, probably. Well, first on the words, open with a harpoon, then follow up with a lacerate, apply raptor strike, then trap, then mongoose bite, then flanking strike, then raptor strike, mongoose bite, probably a few spins, then spitting cobra, murder of crows, probably aspect, apply raptor strike, and always keep up the way of Moknatal. I think I can show like a little bit like this. You see, I'm always trying to keep up the way of Moknatal, and that's important. And I lost it here. Oh god. Oh god, it's so bad. But I have the spitting cobra up to keep me. And even though I can throw the fury of an eagle over here, and I lost the way of Moknatal again. How bad I am doing the video guides and fucking up rotation really badly. I hope no one's seen that, but you probably did anyway. Well, I'm not really good at opener yet, but I will get there with time. But as soon as you throw all your cooldowns and start to have really decent amounts of focus right there, you can manage the rotation and start doing it properly, even though you fucked up the opener. I will try not losing my focus here and still try to open the window with a current fight, and I lost the Moknatal tactics again. But hey, it's my first try doing it on video and trying to DPS rotation. I hope you can see it perfectly. You see, I'm not using the full fury of an eagle because there are higher priorities than throwing the fury of an eagle. I'm bad at spell weaving, at least right now. Well, something like this. And you all also don't have to use the lacquer rate as soon as it comes off the cooldown, because it will still have uptime even though when it came off cooldown, and you will still be able to apply it if you have different priorities at the moment. Well, and I kinda fucked up with keeping the lag rate up. I think I'm too tunneled on my spells sometimes. And also mobs can parry your debuffs. So 250 before, well, the fight is not finished yet, but 250k DPS. Sometimes I can perform better, but it's luck dependent. But you see on the quick run, flanking strike 6 million, alright? And here 4.5. 6 million and 4.5 million is 10.5 million damage. It's second again. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show. And Fury of the Eagle here outperformed Talon Strike, but because it was a really quick fight and I managed to throw Fury of the Eagle at 5 stacks of Mongoose Fury and it did a decent damage. But you see, well, that's what I wanted to show. I hope you liked it. I hope you probably learned something, as I did yesterday. I learned a new rotation, a good one also, because I was dealing 210, 215, 220k DPS on something like here, like that. But here I can do between 250 and 260, dependent on how concentrated I am not losing my way of Moknatal stacks and spell weaving properly. Yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Good luck.